Take a minute now to locate your nearest fire exit. Please switch off your mobile phones and refrain from using flash photography during the performance. Please also be aware that mild strobe lighting is used during the show. There will be no interval during tonight's performance, and any of you who are kind enough to buy raffle tickets, winners will be displayed in the foyer immediately after the show. As is customary, I would like to extend a warm welcome to fellow music societies who are in tonight. We have people in from Tipperary, from Kilcock, from HXT, a gang from Portmarnock, and we have people in from the National Performing Arts School. As you know, folks, later this summer we'll be having the Olympics in London, and we're very lucky tonight to have an Olympic champion in our midst. We have a young man by the name of Cian O'Connor, who recently won a gold medal at the Special Olympics for gymnastics. Please give him a huge round of applause. We're delighted to have you, Cian. And finally, folks, before we begin, I just want to make another very special mention. We have a lady among us tonight who is a true patron of the arts. A lady by the name of Miss Daphne Miller, and believe it or not, folks, tonight is her 500th time as a patron of the Pavilion Theatre. And to mark this occasion, Helen from the Pavilion staff would like to make a small presentation to Daphne now. Thank you very much. Okay, folks, all that remains for me to do is to ask you to sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's performance of the Drowsy Chaperone. Thank you very much.
I hate theater. Well, it's so disappointing, isn't it? You know what I do when I'm sitting in a darkened theater waiting for a show to begin? I pray. Dear God, let it be a good show. And let it be short, dear Lord in heaven, please. 2 hours is fine, 3 hours far too much. And keep the actors out of the audience, God. I did not pay $100 to have the fourth wall come crashing down around my ears. I just want a story. And a couple of songs to take me away. I just want to be entertained. I mean, isn't that the point? Amen. You know, there was a time when sitting in a darkened theater, people would turn to each other and say, I wonder what George and Ira Gershwin have in store for us tonight. Or can Cole Porter pull it off again? Can you imagine? Now it's, oh, please, Elton John, must we continue with this charade? There was a time you knew that when the show began, you'd be transported to another world. A world full of glamour and color, and you think to yourself, my God, when are they going to bring up the lights? Oh, how things have changed. Hello. How are we today, huh? Lively, huh? I'm feeling a little blue myself. You know, a little anxious for no particular reason. A little sad that I should feel anxious at my age. You know, a little self-conscious anxiety resulting in non-specific sadness. A state I call blue. Anyhow, when I'm feeling this way, blue, I like to listen to my music. So this morning I was going through my records, and yes, records. And I was going to put on Meredith Willson's The Music Man. I had a craving for a young Ronnie Howard. And then I thought to myself, no, let's have a real treat. Let's transport ourselves back in time to the decadent world of the 1920s, when the champagne flowed and the caviar chilled and all the world was a party. For the wealthy, anyhow. So I dug about, and what did I find but one of my favorite shows, Gable and Stein's The Drowsy Chaperone. Remember? Music by Julie Gable, lyrics by Sidney Stein. Well look, it's a 2-record set. With the original cast made in 1928, and it features Beatrice Stockwell as the chaperone. Isn't she elegant? That's a full 15 years before she became Dame Beatrice Stockwell. Can you believe it? Let me read what it says on the back. Look. Mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding. Of course, the term gay wedding means something totally different now. But back then it just meant fun. And that's exactly what this show is. Fun. Say, would you humor me for a while? Would you let me play this for you?
Yeah. Sure.
I was really, really hoping you'd say that. You hear that static? I love that sound. To me, that's the sound of a time machine starting up. Now, I want everybody to visualize. Imagine, if you will, it's November 1928. You've just arrived at the doors of the Morosco Theater in New York. It's cold, very cold. Remember when it used to be cold in November? Not anymore. November's the new August. Global warming, we're all doomed. Anyhow, it's cold, but you don't care. You don't care because you're going to see a Broadway show. Listen. Isn't this wonderful? Helps if you close your eyes. Sorry. Overtures. Overtures are out of style, you know. I miss them. You know, it's like the show's way of welcoming you. Hello, welcome. The show's about to begin. In the meantime, would you like an appetizer? It's exactly what an overture is. It's a musical appetizer. You know, a prawn cocktail of tunes, if you will. Something new. What could it be? A dance tune. Something rollicking. Maybe involving pirates. Don't worry, there's no pirates. And now, listen carefully. It's that moment when the band starts to build and you know that you're only seconds away from being transported.
It's a miracle, madam.
My fancy dress. I don't know why I'm wearing it, I must confess. My dress, I love my dress. Would someone tell me why I've put it on?
Yes, your dress, your fancy dress. 'Twas such a pleasure airing it, restitching and repairing it. God bless your dress. It's one fine dress, and I will tell you why you put it on. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. Man, you're the hostess and it's happy wedding time.
Wedding bells will ding, wedding bells will dong, wedding bells will ding, and we will ding along. Your fancy dress, we're very, very glad you put it on.
Wedding guests have come, wedding guests are here.
Wedding guests are out the door and soon they will appear.
I'm Robert, the bridegroom. I'm here to marry Janet. That's Arabelle's folly, whom I love a lot. I'm George, that's George, the best man George. I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought. Ha, Mrs. Toppendale. Now don't worry, I've got this whole wedding planned out. The key is organization. See? Each string represents a task yet to be completed. Pay the musicians, book the florists, yell at the minister. This whole wedding's gonna run like clockwork.
Oh, there's going to be a wedding.
I'm Celtic producer. I lost my leading lady. I gotta stop this wedding or I'm not worth squat.
I'm kidding, just kidding. I came with Mr. Felton. I'll be a leading lady if I get my shot.
We're pastry chefs, we're pastry chefs. We cross our heart, we're pastry chefs. No bakery, a bakery is what we got.
Adolfo, my name is Adolfo. I am the king of Roma. Kiss our Lord.
You are the king of Rome, so you kiss our Lord. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime, wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding time. Someone hasn't come, someone isn't here. Where is Janet Van the Reverend? When will she appear? Giving up a life of glamour to tie the knot. Am I late? I'm the chaperone, chaperone of Janet Van de Graaff, maid of honor, friend and confidant, and all that rot. Where's the bar? A wedding, hooray!
It's prohibition, madam.
A wedding, okay.
Good thing I brought my own.
A wedding today.
Champagne makes me drowsy.
It's really happening. Truly happening. What's happening? What is happening?
I'm Trix, the A-Trix, queen of the sky. I circle through the stars in my modern acrobat. I'm Trix, the A-Trix. I've gotta fly. I'll see you when they tie the knot.
A wedding, hooray, ding-a-ling.
So there we have it. All the guests have arrived. We've got a bride who's giving up the stage for love, her debonair bridegroom, a harried producer, jovial gangsters posing as pastry chefs, a flaky Corrine, a laughing Lothario, and an aviatrix, what we now call a lesbian. And of course my favorite character, the Drowsy Chaperone. What more could you want for an evening's entertainment? ding-along. I don't even know what that means. Okay, I'm going to lead you to this record as best I can. And don't worry, it won't be hard to follow. The characters are all one-dimensional and the story is incredibly simplistic. We begin with a welcome from the debonair bridegroom.
Well, I just want to thank you all for coming. I must be one lucky fella. Why, who would have thought that I, Robert Martin, would be marrying a glamorous showgirl, and that glamorous showgirl would be willing to give up a successful career for me, Robert Martin. Now, if it weren't for Prohibition, I'd say let's raise a glass.
All here, here.
To Miss Janet Van de Graaff, the most beautiful girl in the world. Absolutely not. Excuse me. The groom mustn't see his bride on the day of the wedding. It's bad luck.
I hope you heard that, because that's the plot, basically. Hang on for the ride.
Breakfast will be served in the Arabian room.
Say, it's a little early in the day to be drinking, isn't it?
I don't understand the question.
You keep Janet away from Robert. You understand? You're the chaperone. It's your only job.
I'm on, Capitan.
Oh, Robert, who's my little monkey?
I'm your little monkey.
And so the bride and groom are whisked away, and we turn our attention to the B plot, which involves the producer.
Mr. Felton?
Getting married and leaving show business.
Mr. Felton?
I mean, doesn't she know I got obligations?
Mr. Felton! I could be your leading lady. Well, you said it yourself. I'm useless in the chorus.
Kitty, for the last time, you ain't got what it takes!
Oh, but I've been taking lessons in singing and acting and ballet.
Ballet?
Yeah, and I'm pretty good too. Last week I auditioned for Swanee Lake.
A little annotation. Kitty and Felsig were a couple in real life. Jack and Sadie Adler. Now this is a familiar comic construct, you know, a stupid woman and her long-suffering companion. The irony here is that Sadie actually was quite stupid in real life. Jack had to explain all the jokes to her. You see, at that time, the only people who had a good career on the stage were stupid people. That was before television, of course.
Kitty, I don't have time for this.
Have you full, Mr. Felsig?
Oh, not now.
Perhaps a nice profiterole.
Boys are not hungry.
And perhaps we could give you something else to chew on.
Yeah, something that ain't food.
Like what?
Your confusion is to be expected. Although we stand here before you in the guise of innocent pastry chefs, we are also,
And primarily,
employees of a particular individual.
A certain individual?
A certain individual who happens to be the single largest investor in Felsig's Follies. He has sent us here
as pastry chefs,
to express his concern about Miss Van de Graaff's impending nuptials.
specifically,
That if she gets married and leaves the show, then there ain't no show.
Say, don't I know you?
no, you don't.
Have you ever spent any time in Toledo?
Have you ever spent any time in a coma?
No, but I got a cousin in Seattle.
Kitty! Boys, please, tell your boss not to worry. This wedding is never gonna happen. You have my word on it.
Oh, we'll take your word, all right. But to go back on that word would be a recipe for disaster. Now, I hope we are making ourselves perfectly eclair.
One can only hope.
You just gotta be kidding me.
Trifle much.
So talk with me.
All right, boys, enough with the pastry chef gags.
Alas, we ganache.
We're on the lamb.
Lamb's an entree, you macaroon. The gangsters were played by interchangeable vaudeville duo the Ugly Brothers, John and Peter Ugly. Well, they were born Abraham and Mendel Miloskevich, but they were renamed at Ellis Island by an immigration official with a sense of humor. They were a typical example of the early Broadway gangster, full of wordplay, stylized movements, not very intimidating. Unless you find dancers intimidating. Which I do, but for reasons that would not be appropriate to this situation. We'll leave the matter in your hands, Mr. Felsig. In the meantime, feel free to browse the dessert carousel.
Try the Toledo surprise.
It's to die for.
Very perceptive. Now go powder your face. Oh, I gotta stop this wedding, but how? Oh, dear Lord in heaven, how? Ah!
I always thought that one was a little overplayed. Anyhow, with the story well underway, let's go to the groom's room.
Hey there, handsome. Show me those pearly whites.
The groom was played by the dashing Percy Hyman. Now, he started out as the Albright toothpaste guy, and his fabulous smile adorned every tube. Albright was hugely popular in the early 1920s because it contained cocaine. No, really, if you looked at the label, it was the 5th ingredient down, right after sugar. Anyhow, it wasn't long before he became a huge matinee idol.
Now, don't you worry. It's perfectly normal for the groom to be nervous on the day of his wedding. It is, of course.
I love Percy Hyman. Now, there are those who say he was a terrible actor, but to those I say, shut up.
Hey there, Mr. Mirror Man, shaking and a-quaking, trembling like them Brady cats do. Something big be bothering. Cold feet, brother, you've got cold feet. You can make them cold beats hot with a little rhythm. The young beats, old beats can be uncontrolled beats. Rhythm make them cold beats trot down the aisle. Cross the arches, they can learn to swing. Icy toes can jive. Wedding marches played in ragtime swing make frigid souls come alive and take that dive. Cold beats, turn them into bold beats. Rhythm make them cold beats. You don't say. Well, why don't you just climb back into your mud hole, you backstabbing worm? Well, now I have to find another minister. Say, what are you up to?
I'm singing a song an old Negro taught me. A Dixie remedy for wedding day jitters.
Ha! You think you got jitters? You got the easy part. I still gotta get the rice, the boutonniere, and a minister. I have the weight of the wedding on my shoulders, George.
It sounds to me like you've got cold beats.
What do I got?
Cold beats!
Well, what do I want?
Cold beats!
But what do I do? Cold feet?
No! You make the cold feet hot!
What?
Yeah, now you're getting it. That's it. Percy Hyman was a wonderful performer. I like to think of him panting and sweating after a long, hard dance routine. He's still alive, you know. I saw him on the news recently celebrating his 100th birthday. To say that the passing years had taken their toll would be a grotesque understatement. They wheeled him out and he had this wide-eyed expression of pain and confusion that God reserves for the very, very old on their birthdays. You know the one I'm talking about? The one that says, "Who are you? Who am I? Why is this cake on fire?" You know what I'm talking about. Anyhow.
All right, that's enough of that. Dancing around like a fool. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to calm my nerves. It is my wedding day, after all. Well, tap dancing is way too dangerous. You could have hurt your ego. Say, why don't you go for a skate instead? That's what I do when I want to blow off some steam. Oh, George, what would I do without you? Wait a minute! What was I thinking? Oh, no, my friend. You're not going out like that. You might see Janet. Here, put on this blindfold. Oh, George, you think of everything. Just looking out for you, my boy. And remember, no more tap dancing. Wedding bells will ring.
Oh.
Wedding bells will chime.
Oh, stop.
Wedding bells will celebrate.
Just ignore it. It does that sometimes. It rings. It'll stop soon. What? What is it?
Hello. You have reached my answering machine. Leave a short message after the tone and I'll call you back at my convenience.
Oh, well, that's it. The moment is ruined. Thank you. Thank you, life. You know, it's like a cell phone going off in the theater. God, I hate that. Hello, where are you? Oh, I'm at the theater ruining the moment. Where are you? Oh, I couldn't get out tonight, so I thought I'd ruin the moment by proxy. I'm sorry. Let's try and shake that off, shall we? Try and bring ourselves back in our minds to 1928. They didn't have cell phones in 1928. Although I'm pretty sure they had something for the ruining of moments. Bugles or something.
Happy wedding time.
And so the scene shifts. And we find the bride, the glamorous Janet Van de Graaff, entertaining reporters as she lounges by the pool.
Miss Van de Graaff, is it true you're giving up a successful career to marry a man you hardly know?
Yes. Robin and I met on the Lido deck of the Ile-de-France. He amused me with stories of his father's oil interests. We spooned briefly, and then he proposed.
So you won't be returning to the stage? Ever?
I shan't.
You shan't?
I shan't.
Can we quote you on that?
Yes, of course. One more question? Yes.
Why on earth would anybody put olives in a Gibson?
I got a question. How can you give up the footlights when you know damn well you got grease paint in your veins?
Victor, please.
Oh, Janet, please, I'm begging you. Dump the guy. Come back to the Follies. I'll do anything. All right. I'll put your name above mine in the marquee.
Oh, Victor, if you think this is about vanity, you couldn't be more wrong. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to sing tunes no more. I don't want to ride moons no more. I don't want to show off. I don't want to wear this no more. Play the saucy Swiss miss no more. Blow my signature no more. I don't want to show off.
Janet, please.
Don't try to control me. I've made up my mind, and that's it. I quit. I'm leaving it attention. I'm counting to 10, and I'm through. Adieu. You'll never see this. You'll never see this. You'll never see this. Never see that. Never see these again. I don't wanna change keys. I don't want to tease more. I don't wanna say cheese no more. I don't care if you scoff. I don't wanna be cheesed no more. Praised no more. Grabbed no more. Touched no more. Loved no more. I don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show. No more.
Did I miss something?
Well, Mr. Felzig, it's painfully obvious Miss Vandegraaff has no desire to continue life on the stage.
Can't you see that you're killing her soul?
Don't worry, boys. This ain't over yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't do an encore.
I don't wanna encore anymore. Keep on shouting for more. I just don't get the floor no more. I don't wanna show. Oh.
That was Jane Roberts as the bride. She was the Oops girl, remember? I'm sure you remember the Oops girl. Don't you people read? She was one who was billed as having so much sexual energy that it caused all the men around her to have accidents. Spill their drinks and drive their cars into trees. And she would go, oops. I'm not really doing it justice, but people ate it up. She made a whole series of films. Oops, the Oops Girl Come Home, and Oops Girl Let's See, which won an Oscar for special effects.
All right. Begging and groveling didn't work. Now on to plan B. And for that, I need an accomplice. Someone gullible with a loose moral. I need, what do you call that? A European. La 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 la.
In walks Aldolfo, self-proclaimed ladies' man. Aldolfo was played by former silent film star and world-class alcoholic Roman Bartelli. He was the one who later drank himself to death at his shadow in Nice. It was 5 days before they found the body, and by that time it had been partially consumed by his poodles. Well, it's true.
Excuse me, I don't believe we've met.
I am Adolfo.
You are Adolfo?
Yes, I am Adolfo.
Not the Adolfo.
Yes, I am Adolfo.
It's funny you don't look like a scoundrel.
Yeah, what?
Oh, I just overheard the groom there say that Adolfo was a scoundrel. I just heard him say that.
What? Adolfo is a scoundrel.
Those very words.
Adolfo is a scoundrel.
That's like I'm hearing it again.
This is outrageous. He is saying this to people, to lovely ladies with breasts, for making love. Why, I must.
You must take matters into your own hands.
Yes, I must take this groom into my own hands and kill him.
Yes. No, don't kill him. Just hurt him a little so that he can't get married.
Ah, show me to this groom. Why? What kind of man is this groom? Is he a big man? Nah. A burly fellow.
He's big on the outside.
Oh, no. Adolfo does not fight big men. Small, pale, greasy little dwarf like me that Adolfo can hunt away. But no, Big fan.
So you're a lover, not a fighter.
Yes, Adolfo's a lover of beautiful ladies. Some say he is the king of romance.
Well, you know what they say. The best way to get revenge at a man is through his,
Door.
No. The best way to get back at a man is through his...
Breasts.
No! The best way to get revenge at a man is through his...
Through his, there is no other way. Adolfo's no Santa Claus going down the chimney.
Through his woman.
His woman.
You must seduce his woman.
His woman.
His bride!
Adolfo made love to this bride. That will show people that Adolfo is no scoundrel. Show me to this bride. What kind of woman is this? She a big woman? She a burly woman?
Oh, she's the cat's pajamas.
The cat's pajamas?
She's a looker, a good-looking woman.
Ah, show me to this cat in pajamas. I will make her...
You get off of me.
Cat pajamas!
Hold on, I have a little what the bang looks like.
That was Roman Bartelli chewing the scenery. Of course, you'd never get away with a performance like that nowadays, would you? Mature contemporary audiences are far too sophisticated to enjoy broad racial stereotypes on the stage. So we banished them to Disney instead. Let the children sort it out.
Underling,
Yes, madam.
the pastry chefs have been kind enough to provide us with the liquor for the party. But remember, Underling, we must be discreet.
Yes, madam.
It is prohibition, after all.
I'm aware of that, madam.
We'll have to use code words. For instance, if someone asks for a glass of ice water, what they really want is a glass of vodka. Have you got that?
Yes, madam.
Are you sure? Maybe you should write it down.
I understand, madam. A glass of iced water is a glass of vodka.
What's a glass of ice water?
Vodka.
Ice water.
Vodka.
Ice water.
Vodka.
Well, and you see, that's settled. One less thing to do. Underling,
Yes, madam.
might I have a glass of ice water? I found that meeting with the pastry chefs rather trying and would really enjoy a refreshing glass of ice water.
Your iced water, madam.
That was pure vodka, you poop!
I hate this scene.
Now we really do need a glass of ice water.
A glass of ice water, madam?
Yes, ice water. Are you going deaf?
Would that I were.
Well, you can see where this is going, can't you? It's really just a whole series of spit takes.
Your iced water, madam.
That was pure vodka, you poop!
The Drowsy Chaperone was actually quite progressive, you know. Having a woman play the part of a pilot, for instance.
Your iced water, madam.
That was pure vodka, you poop!
Some elements were quite progressive, others were quite stale by 1928. I'm going to jump ahead.
That was... That...
Sorry.
That... Poop!
Oh.
Where are you going?
To find some lime juice, madam.
Lime juice, for heaven's sakes, why?
I'm going to wring out my eyebrows and make myself a gimlet.
Now you're probably wondering what that routine was doing in the show. Well, it's quite simple, really. There was a song coming up and they had to allow for the set change. You know, it's mechanics. Like in pornography. Let me explain what I mean by that. In pornography, the story is, well, it's simplistic. You know, how do I pay for this pizza being the classic example. Look, the point I'm trying to make is that in pornography and in musical theater, the story exists only to connect the longer, more engaging production numbers. What? Well, what kind of a society is this if we can't discuss the similarities between pornography and musical theater?
Robert Martin. Oh, my head is spinning.
Yes, life is a mad whirlwind.
Now this is a really interesting scene. This is the only scene in the entire show where Jane Roberts and Beatrice Stockwell are alone together on stage. Jane Roberts was an up-and-coming starlet, but Beatrice Stockwell, she was well established and a force to contend with.
Oh, I'm so full of apprehension, but I suppose that's normal considering the circumstances. Have you ever been married, Chaperone?
No, I drink for pleasure, not out of necessity.
Your iced water, madam. I'm afraid we're fresh out of olives.
Have you ever been married, underling?
Heavens no, madam. If I'm going to serve a woman, I prefer to be paid for my efforts.
Oh, I know it seems crazy to give up a successful career for a man I hardly know, but somehow, for some reason, when I look into his eyes, his big, monkey eyes, ah gee, I get all woozy, and that's love, isn't it?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, the wooziness could be caused by any number of things. I mean, I'm a little woozy myself right now, and I'm certainly not in love.
Beatrice Stockwell was famous for her rousing anthems. Now she entertained and inspired the troops at every major world conflict up to and including the Falklands War. Of course, by that time she was in her late 80s and her anthems didn't so much rouse as stupefy. But she insisted on having a rousing anthem included in every single show she ever did. People just couldn't say no to her. That's star power.
Really? You're not in the least bit helpful. Couldn't you at least allay my fears with a few choice words of inspiration?
Inspiration? Oh, no, that's really not my forte.
Yes, but if you just...
As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers everywhere, never sure where to turn or what to do. Still we bumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth. Barely knowing left from right, nor right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope a bluebird will sing his song as we stumble along.
Oh, that was quite... Well, that was quite nice, Chaperone, but I just don't see how that pertains to my situation.
Let me explain.
Well, that's really not necessary.
It's a dismal little world in which we live. It can bore you till you've nothing left to give. 7 overrated wonders, 7 underwhelming seas, 6 excruciating continents, Antarctica, oh please.
Antarctica, oh please.
Still, you mustn't let it lick you. This planet, oh so bland. Keep your eyeball on the highball in your hand. As we stumble along across life's crowded dance floor, as we push and we shove, we live and we learn. And when we finally leave the bar and we see that morning star, we pull our bootstraps up and homeward turn. And then we stumble away, the road dogs were lighting sadly, barely knowing right from right, nor left from wrong. But as long
That's what I love about her. She just does her own thing, regardless of the needs and concerns of others. My mother was like that.
Well, that was quite inspiring, Chaperone. But I'm still conflicted. Oh, please tell me, is Robert the man for me?
Well, my dear, that's something you're going to have to decide for yourself.
But I just don't know if he loves me.
Well, why don't you ask him? Why don't you say, Roger, do you love me?
Robert. And I'm not allowed to see him. In fact, it's your job to keep me away from him.
You're right. And I take my responsibility very seriously, but I'm afraid at this moment I'm feeling terribly, terribly drowsy. And I'm going to have a lie down. Now, whatever you do, don't go running through the gardens, seeking out your fiancé and asking him the question on which your future happiness depends.
Oh, thank you, Chaperone. I just have to know if he loves me.
Such a skinny little fool. Still, I envy her. Oh, when will love come crashing through my door?
La 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 la.
Look who it is! Aldolfo come to seduce the bride.
I am Aldolfo.
Try not to think of the poodles while you listen to this part.
I am Aldolfo, and you are bride.
No, I am not.
What? This is the bridal suite. You are the only one here, therefore you must be bride.
Interesting argument, but I'm afraid you are a moron.
What?
Me, no bride. But perhaps I could take a message.
Ah, yes. Dear Vandergraaf bride, I must make love to you and transport you to a place of ecstasy. Sooner is better. Signed, Aldolfo, King of Romance.
Well, you saw through my little ruse. You found me out.
Ah, so you are the bride.
Apparently, yes. Take me the doll face.
No, not a doll face. Aldolfo. You must say the right name, for when we are making love and you are screaming it out, you must say the right name or it will spoil everything. How can I make you remember? I'm sure that you have heard the name Aldolfo, a lady's man who wins acclaim, Aldolfo. Well, lovely miss, I am that same Aldolfo. I introduce myself. I am Aldolfo.
Nice to meet you. Shall we?
Not so fast. So just in case you didn't hear, Aldolfo, I'll try to make it very clear, Aldolfo. The lovely ladies always cheer, Aldolfo. When I repeat myself, I am Aldolfo.
Understood.
I can sing it high, Aldolfo. I can sing it low, Aldolfo. I can sing it very fast. I can sing it very slowly. I do so now, but this would take hours. Now let us see if you can remember my name.
I'll give it a shot.
Now who's the fellow that you see?
Aldolfo.
And how shall you refer to me?
Aldolfo.
And who is it I'll always be?
Aldolfo.
Now sing it proudly.
You are Aldolfo.
Now let me spell it out for you, for all you lovely ladies who may not have heard, because maybe you are hard of hearing or something. I don't know. It goes.
Mother's favorite song in the whole show. I think it was her secret fantasy to be seduced by a Latin lover. Well, a real Latin lover, not a buffoon. But isn't that what musical theater is all about? Romantic fantasy, falling in love at the drop of the hat, spontaneous tangoing, suddenly finding yourself in an insanely romantic setting. I'm an accident waiting to happen.
Oh, Robert, look out!
Oh, don't worry, madam. I'm getting married today, so I have to wear a blindfold.
A blindfold?
Who am I speaking to anyhow?
Why, it's me. I mean, Mimi. Mimi from France.
This scene couldn't be more ridiculous.
So, I hear you are marrying Janet van der Graaf, no?
Oh, oui.
I hear she is very beautiful.
Oui.
And glamorous.
Ah, oui, oui.
Is it true that she has exceptionally broad range and excels at playing both comedic and dramatic roles?
Say, I'm having trouble placing your accent. What part of France are you from?
Oh, the middle part, where they make the toast. So, you are telling me about, how do you say in English, fiancé?
Oh, that's right.
So, tell me, when was the moment that you knew that she was the only one for you?
Oh, it's a funny story, actually. We were standing on the Lido deck of the Ile de France.
Yes?
I was amusing her with stories of my father's oil interests.
And then what happened?
And then I looked into her eyes, her big glamorous eyes, and I felt all woozy.
And then you fell. Oh, and then you fell?
Yeah, right on my key string. And then, that's when I knew it must be love.
And then you said?
And then I said, there was a time I could stop on a dime. Forbearance was one of my talents. But since you've been around, I can't hold my ground. I'm consistently losing my balance. I'm an accident waiting to happen. I'm a mishap about to ensue. I'm the toy on the stair, the three-legged chair, the hand that's been caught by a shoe. When my two lovesick arms started flapping, there was nothing my ankles could do. I'm an accident waiting to happen. So how be I happen to you?
And then what happened?
Then she joined in.
When men say I'm sweet and they fall at my feet, my heart doesn't beat any faster. But when you lose control, it touches my soul. So I'm bracing myself for disaster. You're an accident waiting to happen.
That's right.
A catastrophe destined to be.
That's me. I'm the rags in the cellar.
A broken umbrella, a branch hanging loose from a tree. I could see myself jumping and clapping for a man who lived dangerously. I'm an accident waiting to happen, so hurry and happen to me. And then what happened?
And then we kissed. I'm an accident So hurry and happen to me. Oh no! What have I done? Wait!
Well, it seems that the fake French accent and the blindfold have caused a terrible misunderstanding. What a mess! Will it all work out in the end? Of course it will. It's a musical! Everything works out in musicals. In the real world, nothing ever works out. And the only people who burst into song are the hopelessly deranged.
Mr. Felton!
Where is that philandering foreigner?
Mr. Felton!
I mean, how long does it take to seduce one bride?
Felton! You don't need Janet no more. I've been working on a mind-reading app.
Oh, Kitty, no.
Presenting Kitty, the incomprehensible. Now, think of something.
Oh, I'm thinking of something, all right.
Wait. I'm getting it. Pick up some milk and a loaf of rye bread. And don't forget to shave your legs. Mr. Felton?
You're reading your own mind, you idiot.
Oh, well, no wonder it was so easy.
Mr. Felzig, it would seem that the wedding's proceeding according to schedule. Now it's time to receive your just desserts. What do you think, partner? Should we whip up something special for Mr. Felzig?
Yeah, how about a Toledo surprise?
An inspired choice.
Toledo surprise? I never heard of that.
No, you haven't. Those people who have heard of it are generally never heard from again.
Well, explain the recipe to you.
First, you chop the nuts.
Then you pound the dough.
Then you bake it nice and slow. Then you got a Toledo surprise.
Would you run that by me one more time?
It's a very simple recipe, Mr. Felton.
First, you chop the nuts.
Then you pound the dough.
Then you bake it up nice and slow. Then you got a Toledo surprise. Say, why don't we give him a little taste?
Yeah, right.
Hold it. What style? What grace? What rhythm? Now, open those fists, shake them out, boys. That's it. Now, give me that recipe. One more time. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Chop the nuts, pound the dough, bake it up
Right.
nice and slow. Then you got a Toledo surprise. With the peach, peel the skin, mush it up, throw it in. That's a tasty Toledo surprise. First you beat it up, then you sweet it up.
Love it.
When you heat it up, if it tries to rise, don't let it, it's a snap. Try your boats with your whites, spin your yolks, and you got a Toledo surprise.
Oh, you boys are natural.
That's
Natural.
okay.
Keep it up, boys. Now, I'll go sign the contracts.
Hey!
How she examining? Oh, Kitty, look, it's my new act presenting Toledo Surprise.
You're putting gangsters in the show and you won't put me in it. They're not even in the union.
Kitty, you don't understand the new act. It's for you. And they're your new backup dancers.
Backup dancers? Holy cats! What can I Toledo dance to my Toledo? Yes, Surprise! Grease the cream, grease the pan, flip the spoon, flip the pan. Place your bust your tuxedo, Toledo surprise.
1,
we make an announcement. Wedding is off!
What? For the love of God, why?
Adolfo has made love to the bride.
That's not the bride, you idiot. That's the chaperone.
What?
The wedding is off!
The wedding is off.
What?
Robert, because the French girl called Mimi. She's very beautiful.
Oh, I couldn't help it, Janet. She was just like you, only French.
Oh!
Sweet mother of pearl!
Oh, underling!
Yes, madam.
What is all this commotion about?
The wedding, madam.
Oh, there's going to be a wedding.
Not anymore. Oh, what a tragedy. What a wonderful, wonderful tragedy. Clear the floor, boys. I'll show you how it's done. First you beat it up, then you speed it up, then you heat it up. If it starts to rise, don't let it. Toledo surprise!
Surprise!
Wait till it's ready!
Surprise!
Wait till it's ready!
Surprise!
Wait till it's ready!
Now it's looking ready. Surprise! Makes me twitch, makes me shake. This dessert takes the cake. Hits me like a torpedo. Torpedo!
Bride of the bride!
Why are we dancing? Our dreams are in tatters.
Yes. Yes. But the tune is so infectious.
Oh, Robert, this is the saddest day of my life.
The curtain closes, and it's time for intermission. At least it would be if we were sitting in the Morosco Theater in 1928 watching the Drowsy Chaperone, which of course we are not. I hate intermissions. You know, they just drag you back into reality. One moment you're sitting surrounded by a world of music and color, and next thing, bang, the lights come on, and the guy who's sitting beside you, who's been farting all through the first act, turns out to be musical theater expert guy. I don't know, let's call him Tim. And all that Tim can say is that the acting stinks, the music is too loud, and the direction is crap. Everyone's a critic. It's a power bar. I've got a bit of a Bit of a blood sugar issue. Have to eat small meals all day long or I get jittery. I know it's rude, but you wouldn't like the alternative, believe you me. Believe you me. Remember my wedding day? Ceremony wasn't until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had no breakfast, no lunch, nothing to eat all day, and I was like, I do. You surprised I was married? Yeah, well, there you go. Shouldn't go making assumptions about people, should you? I'm a very complicated person. I've got to go pee now. Before I go, I'll go back and put on Act 2. I won't be long.
And American lady, no see eye to eye.
But, Emperor, surely a different outlook could change your point of view. Precisely. What is it about the Asians that fascinates Caucasians? What is it about the Asians that's so nice? Is it the wontons, the egg rolls, the rice? Perhaps it's Buddha or Confucius and their excellent advice.
What is it about Caucasians that mystifies we Asians? What is it about Caucasians that's so They call a pretty lady a blah. They have hair on their chest and they only have one goal. No. Impossible.
I'm so sorry. That song is not from the Drowsy Chaperone. That's from a totally different musical altogether. I'm so sorry. You see, I have this woman who comes in once a month, and she cleans the things that I absolutely refuse to clean. She's very good, but she has this annoying habit of putting away my records and putting them in the wrong sleeves. And I say to her, no touch records, Carmela. No touch records, Carmela. Perhaps if I spoke to her in full sentences, she might not touch my records. Anyhow, that song was from another Gablenstein musical, The Enchanted Nightingale. A degrading piece of chinoiserie about an emperor who was told by his American elocutionist to marry a nightingale. I know. He ends up building the Great Wall of China. A degrading piece of chinoiserie and a slap in the face to 4,000 years of Chinese history. But it's got some nice tunes. Now, you probably saw Beatrice Stockwell there as the American elocutionist. Yeah? And anybody notice Roman Bartelli as the emperor? He was a man of 1,000 accents. Every one of them insulting. Act 2 of The Drowsy Chaperone begins with this. A haunting lament from a very depressed bride. Now she sings it, standing on her balcony, bathed in the pale blue light of a sympathetic moon, which is ridiculous because it's the middle of the day. Now as you listen to this, I want you to block out the lyrics. Try not to listen to them. I know that's difficult, but they're not the best. But it's a beautiful tune and it really conveys the bride's state of mind. Just please try to ignore the lyrics.
I put a monkey on a pedestal and tried to make that monkey stay. And he did for a time, but he needed to climb and with other monkeys play far away. He left his jacket on the pedestal beside his tiny rusty cup, and I haven't got the strength to pick them up. Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two, but I'll always save that pedestal for you.
I'm gonna get myself a brandy.
Come, my little monkey. Come, my little monkey.
It's such a beautiful tune. It just floats there in the air. And I can't help it feeling teary-eyed every time I think of that tiny little jacket on top of the pedestal. Its long sleeves hanging down to the floor.
Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two. But I'll always sing that pedestal for you. Come, my little monkey. Come, my little monkey.
Here we go.
Wait,
Who are you?
I'm Janet Vandergraaf.
Do you need anyone?
I don't need anyone.
What about the love of one
What
man?
do I care about the love of one man when I am adored by millions? Do I need to be so gloomy? No, no, no. I could rule the world if so I chose. Sigmund Freud's and flowers to me every show. Gertrude's dying, she handed me a rose.
Now she really lets go.
I'm Janet Vandergraaf. Ain't no nail that I can't hammer. Why give up a life of glamour? Life of glamour, life of glamour. No! Monkey, monkey,
I love this part.
monkey, monkey,
Complete mental breakdown.
monkey, monkey, monkey. I'm an ox waiting to have lunch. I don't wanna show off no more. Monkey, monkey. I don't wanna spread birth no more. Monkey, monkey. Be the greatest on earth no more. I don't wanna, I don't wanna, I don't, I do, I do. I don't wanna show. Stage, 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 show. I'd like to show that the future is secure, that the millions future mine. Any future I could ever care to share includes just one two-time cat who drives me Is it the monkey or my pedestal? I love
of everything, you know, a little bit of Busby Berkeley, a little bit of Planet of the Apes. And that's another thing I love about musicals in general. When a character's in crisis, what do? They sing and they dance, which is so much more interesting than whining about it. But that is the glory of musical theater. Oh, now, you see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. In the real world, you're happy for 5 seconds, and what happens? Something starts ringing.
What a beautiful day for a wedding.
Shall I have the pews removed now, madam? Or would you prefer I wait until morning?
I'm going to stop things there because I don't want the next song ruined by a ringing telephone. Now here we have 2 vaudeville performers who have slipped through the cracks of time. Noel Fitzpatrick and Ukulele Lil. I don't know anything about them. I suppose Ukulele Lil played the ukulele, but she doesn't in this show, thank God. I did try to find out more about her on the internet, but all I could find was a very strange video with 2 bald guys, a ukulele, and some Vaseline, but I'd rather not talk about that. Anyhow, they're both charming.
Why would you have the pews removed?
The bride has called off the wedding, madam.
Oh, underling, never listen to a bride on her wedding day. Love is a very complex emotion, underling.
Yes, madam.
Why, you can be very close to someone one moment, and the next, why, you just want to strangle them. Do you understand?
I understand the urge to strangle, yes.
Why, you see, it's just the nature of love. Love makes lovers worry, love makes lovers fret. But here's a fact on which we can depend. Just like long ago when Romeo loved Juliet, love is always lovely in the end.
But Romeo and Juliet was a tragedy, madam.
Oh, I never read reviews. Love can start a quarrel, love can cause a din, but love has always been a trusted friend. 'Twas a happy fate for Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Love is always lovely in the end.
Might I remind you, madam, that Anne Boleyn lost her head?
Yes, she was in love. Love was good to Eve and Adam.
Here we go again.
Samson and Delilah too.
Good grief! May I pose a question, madam?
Oh, yes, of course.
Why does nothing I say to you ever get through?
Oh, don't mind if I do. Love is always lovely in the end.
I found that rather taxing. Excuse me, madam, while I pour myself a glass of iced water.
Love sneaks up behind you, love falls from above, but love would never consciously offend. Love has certainly been kind to me, and my true love, love is always lovely in the end.
But your late husband was a brute.
I don't mean him, you silly coot. Love is always lovely. Love is always lovely in the end. Love is always lovely in the end.
Yes, that was charming. But on some level, that number pisses me off. Now I'm going to say something here, and yeah, I know I've been drinking, but I'm going to come right out and say that love is not always lovely in the end. Often in the end, there are lawyers. And another thing. Surely somebody was aware of the awkward sexual connotation of that title. Love is always lovely in the end. Or is it just me? Well, look, I suppose what I'm trying to say is that that number is naive, and irresponsibly so. I'm sorry, but I just felt that needed to be said for the sake of the young people. I won't interrupt anymore. There is a moment coming up that I have become obsessed with.
There you are. Oh, Chaperone, I'm in a terrible state.
You certainly are. You can't go to a wedding looking like that.
Oh, you poor dear. Haven't you heard? The wedding has been called off.
Not your wedding, mine. Which reminds me, might I borrow your veil?
You're getting married? But to whom?
La 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 la. Oh, beautiful lady with thoughtful expression.
You're marrying Aldolfo?
Yes, I know it's surprising, but when I look into his eyes, his big, clumsy eyes, I feel all moved. And that's love, isn't it?
Yes, dear, that is love. Help.
There you are. All right. I'm going to put my cards on the table. I got a weak heart. I can't take the pressure. If this goes on any longer, the old ticker's going to give out. Please, tell me, is there going to be a wedding or not?
Yes.
Thank the good Lord in heaven.
The Chaperone and Aldolfo are getting married.
What?
But there you are! I have wonderful news! There's going to be a wedding!
We know.
You know?
Yes, we just heard.
But who told you?
I did.
But how did you know?
But what difference does it make?
Mrs. Tottendale and I are to be married in the garden at 7:30.
What?
Oh, yes.
Congratulations, everyone.
Say, what kind of a cockamamie wedding is this? Everybody's getting married except the bride and groom.
Oh, Janet, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hello, Mr. Martin.
Oh, please don't be that way. Can't you find it in your heart to marry me? Oh, Janet, it is our wedding day after all. George went through all this trouble and, well, I do love you. More than I can say.
But you kissed another woman.
Yes, and I just can't understand it. I know this sounds ridiculous, but when I was kissing her, it was just like I kissed you.
Oh, Robert, you were kissing me.
What? You're Mimi? Well, that French accent was remarkably accurate.
Why, thank you. I developed it when I played the role of Monique in Hold That Baguette.
There you are. Now listen here, young lady, and remember this. No matter how well you play the part of the happy wife, you'll never ever get a standing ovation.
Oh, I just don't know. Oh, I'm so confused. Oh, Chaperone, please, I beg of you, just this one time, can you give me some advice that is appropriate and coherent to the situation? Should I marry Robert?
Now here it comes, that moment I was telling you about. Not just the culmination of the entire plot, but a moment that has brought me back to this record time and time again. Now listen, for here it comes.
Well, my advice to you is...
And this is it, listen.
While you can...
You see? You can't quite make out what she says because somebody drops a cane. I'll play it for you again.
While you can...
Is she saying, live while you can, or leave while you can?
While you can.
Well, it's Beatrice Stockwell, so it might just be a cynical quip. But then again, this is a wedding. And isn't that exactly what you think when you're standing at the altar, live or leave? And you live. You live because in some sense, you love her. That's not an exact science. An arrow doesn't come down out of the sky and point at the one that you're meant to be with for the rest of your life. So one day you come out and you say it. You say, I love you. And you basically phrase it as a question and she accepts it as fact. And then pretty soon she's standing there beside you in a $3,000 dress and she's got tears in her eyes and her mother's made the cake and what can you do? You can't say, I was kidding. You can't say, I was joking. You live. You have to live. And for those first couple of months, you stare at the alien form in the bed beside you, and you think to yourself, who are you? Who are you? And then one day you say it out loud. And then
And it's trial separation and couples counseling, and all your conversations are about her eating disorder and your addiction to Prozac. And you're constantly redefining and reevaluating and revisiting, and then finally you lose the deposit on the house. And the whole relationship ends on a particularly ugly note with your only copy of Gypsy flying through the air and smashing against the living room wall. But then, in a larger sense, in a broader sense, it's better to have lived than have left, right?
While you can.
You've no idea how many times I've listened to that.
Oh, Chaperone, you really do have a way with words. My answer is yes, Robert. I will marry you.
Wonderful, wonderful!
Well, Mr. Felsig, it would seem that the wedding is a done deal.
Now you're in trouble.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
But there is, boys. I've got myself a new leading lady, presenting Kitty the Incredible. Now, Kitty, show the boys how you can read my mind. My mind.
Will you marry me?
She's just incredible.
Well, what are we all waiting for? You ladies go put on your frillies. We'll all get married in one big clump. That's how they do it in Utah.
George, I don't know how you pulled that off. 4 weddings in one day. I guess you're everybody's best man now.
I am?
Yeah, of course.
I am.
Hip, hip, hooray!
He's George, the best man George. I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought. He's basking in the glory of a 5-12 bond. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime, wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding time. Oh no! I forgot the minister! Who the hell are you?
I'm Trix, the alien Trix, queen of the sky. To Rio, I'm waiting when my engine needs a mending. I'll fix my navigators and then I'll fly. I'll let you love but not. So sorry for crashing the party, folks, but we'll have this fixed in 2 shapes, and then it's off to Rio for Carnival.
Wait! The captain of a ship can perform a marriage!
Yes!
And a pilot is comparable to a captain.
Yes!
And the plane is a kind of sheep. A sheep of the air? Some people call it an air sheep.
Oh, air! Yes!
Wait! I got it! Tricks! You can marry them all in the plane, and we'll all have the honeymoon in Rio!
A bride and groom in the chapel may bring a tear to the eye. But what a thrill when lovers like to in the sky. When vows are said, love never daffodils I do in the restrain that sweet refrain. I do in the sky. And Good heartbeats rush when sweethearts gush. I do in the sky. I do in the sky.
Whoa, up ahead! Can you see it?
Could it be? Yes, it's real! Well, hurry up, Fritz. We've got some honeymooning to do.
Then fly, then clouds meandering by. One can't restrain that sweet refrain. I do.
Oh no! Oh no, I can't believe it! I can't believe it! Everybody stay calm! Stay calm. This happens sometimes. It's a very old building with very, very bad wiring. Keep the show alive in your minds, please. Don't talk to anybody. I said don't talk to anybody! Keep the show alive in your mind. 1928. I'm gonna go and try and find the fuse box. Oh no, everybody keep quiet.
It's the super!
God. Coming.
Hi,
Hello.
your lights are out.
Yes.
Yeah, we just shut the power off because we're replacing the breaker panel in the basement.
Yes.
So we replaced it, but when we turned the power off, the breakers in all the apartments tripped.
Oh, yes.
It happens. It's normal.
Yes.
So I gotta reset your breakers.
Now?
Yeah, it'll only take a second.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, come on.
Because I tried calling you earlier before, but there was no answer.
Well, I've been having a little problem with the phone.
Now let me see, what have we got here? Not you, bada bing, bada boom. Ah, here we go. What was that? That?
Oh, it's nothing. Just some music, that's all.
What kind of music was that?
Just, a show, a musical.
You? Like musicals?
No.
I love musicals. I go with the wife all the time. It's amazing what they can do nowadays. Did you see Miss Saigon? They landed a helicopter on the stage in that one. Yeah, I've seen them all. Cats, Les Mis, Saturday Night Fever. Although I like the movie better. Ha, 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 ha. Stay alive, stay alive. Ha, ha.
Thank you. Well, that's it. Through it. One note away from the end of the show, and the whole thing is ruined. I should just go back and play the whole thing again. No, I can't do that. Look, I'm sorry. I have to understand it. This is so frustrating. I love the show. I've never even seen it. My mother gave us the record just before my father left. Oh, he didn't leave because of the record, although I'm sure that didn't help, but... Look, I know it's not the perfect show. The spit take scene is lame, and the monkey motif is labored, but none of that matters. It doesn't matter. Because it does exactly what a musical is meant to do.
You know, transports you to another world. And it gives you a little tune to carry with you in your head. A little something to help you escape the dreary horrors of the real world. A little something for when you're feeling blue. You know? Oh, on life's funny journey, we stumbled along into the blue. We look here, we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never knowing where to go or what to do. Still we bumble along.
I don't wanna sing
On life's funny land.
Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime.
We left from right or right from wrong.
And the best that we can do is hope a bluebird will sing his song as we stumble along.
Still we bumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth. we stumble,